I've tried probably hundreds of makeup products this year. I get sent a lot of PR, so I'm very lucky that I get to try a lot of different things out. And I've made a little list of all of my favourite products that I've tried this year. I'm going to skip primer because I don't really wear primer that much, so I feel like I've not tested enough different ones to make a list of ones that I really like. But if I do use a primer, I use this Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer, and I think it's really nice. Okay, foundation. I was going to do 3 in every category, but for foundation I couldn't decide 3, so I thought I'd do 4. And these are all the foundations that I get compliments when wearing. The NARS Sheer Glow I tried fairly recently and I really love. It's kind of got like more of a buildable, lighter coverage than the other ones that I've picked. This one is the Exa High Fidelity Semi Satin Foundation, and I love this and I honestly would wear this every day. My only issue with this foundation is, I can't remember where I bought it from, I think it was Cult Beauty. Again, kind of buildable, but this was literally lasting through Florida heat every day and not going cakey or like patchy or anything. This is so good. The Huda Beauty Easy Blur foundation. This is the only foundation in a really long time that I've been impressed with when it's launched. I just feel like a lot of foundations are quite samey, but this one genuinely looks like your skin and it's really full coverage. You can put a little bit on so it's not as intense, but if you want it to be like full coverage, it is so good. All of these basically just wear really nicely, and that's the main thing I look for in a foundation. Today I'm going to use this Fenty one. This one is again on the fuller coverage side. I generally prefer a fuller coverage foundation because I have quite a lot of like scarring on my cheeks, so it means that I can skip a lot of concealer. Soft lip foundation in the shade 120. Can you see it just sits on my skin so nicely? It's the same as the Pro Filter matte one, like their original foundation, but it's more of a glowy one. I think it makes it look a little bit more natural and more like your actual face. These are my top 2 concealers. I hardly ever run out of concealer, and look how much of this one I have left. That's so impressive. This literally never happens, and there's quite a lot of product in there. The NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is my other favourite one, which I've tried fairly recently. It says radiant, but I find it looks kind of matte on my skin. This one's really nice if you want to like cover spots or don't have like loads of foundation on. This one doesn't have as much coverage, but it looks so skin-like and just blends really nicely. I'm going to use this one today because I also like that it has a pump. Sometimes I feel like I get too much product out when I use it, but it's great for covering spots because if you're putting this on spots, obviously you could put it on your hand and use your finger, but this is touching directly onto the areas, so you're kind of like infecting your product, but because it's a pump, you're not doing that. It's a drugstore concealer and I honestly think it's better than a lot of high-end ones. I think it could have been in my favourites last year. Skin is looking very perfect and glowy. Time for blush. Blush is my favourite stuff in my routine, and I like a blush that you can put under powder and on top and it doesn't like go cakey or patchy or weird, and all of these work well both ways. These ones are a new launch this year and they're from Colourpop. I have every single shade and they do so many different, like every kind of pinky tone that you'd ever want. I think the packaging's really cute. These work so well if you have like no makeup on or like just not much makeup on, and also like quite a heavy coverage foundation. I find a lot of liquid blushes, if you have a fuller foundation on, they kind of just disappear and don't really stick to your face. These are lip and cheek balms, so you can put them on your lips and your cheeks, but they're not oily, they're really pigmented and they give you a nice glow, so they kind of work as a bit of a highlighter too. Next up is a Huda Beauty blush filter. This is again all of the colours that they do. 2 shades are like bronzers, so they're a bit of like a blush bronzer mix. These are more of like a matte blurring creamy blush. Can you see? They just blend into your skin so nicely. They smell delicious, I want to eat them. And they have just the right amount of pigment where it has enough for me to look as pink as I want to be without looking bright red. And finally, I feel like it has been the year of the Sabrina Carpenter blush, and I bought these maybe like 6 months ago and I have been using them almost every day ever since. I really like them. They're the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk blushes, and I normally mix these 2 shades, which are the 2 shades that Sabrina mixes. These are the shades 62 and 53. These again just like melt into your skin and look so pretty. These ones are slightly glowier than the Huda Beauty ones and they're so nice. On my red today, I think I'm going to do a bit of a red blush moment with the Huda Beauty ones in the shade Watermelon Pop and Peach Sorbet, and I'm going to mix them both together. I was at a Huda Beauty event and I actually got to meet Huda for the launch of these, and one of the makeup artists there put these two together, because I was also wearing red then, put these two shades together and it looked so good. And ever since I've been mixing them together, I think there's such a nice combo. And look how nice that's blended into my skin, it looks so pretty. Liquid bronzers, I struggle with these a lot. I find that I either turn orange or patchy, but these ones work quite well for me. I was using these all summer. I was kind of mixing them in with like my moisturiser, or putting like a little bit on my hand and then getting a huge brush and like rubbing it across my chest. Looked really nice when I was on holiday. These are the Drunk Elephant Bronzy Drops, and sometimes just like putting a bit on your hand, then rubbing in a brush and just using it as like a liquid bronzer, just like loosely around your face. Looks nice. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, I just like how easy it is to do on and you don't make like a mess with loads of product. It's quite easy to control how much comes out. This one is kind of a throwback. It's the Sleek Contour Highlight Stick and it's really good. I don't know why more people don't use it. The contour stick, it's so nice, it blends so nicely and it's like the perfect colour. I'm going to use that today. I'm more of a contour person than a bronzer person. I think it's gone quite fair. I just turned orange. It's so easy to use because it's the stick, so you can literally just draw it on where you want it to be. Blend that in. I'm very shiny, so let's put some powder on. I love Laura Mercier powder and it's the only powder that I constantly go back to, and I don't think anything ever really compares to it except when I tried this Huda Beauty one. Laura Mercier is a translucent one and the Huda one has a colour to it. Laura Mercier one kind of just sets your face into place and kind of mattifies it, but this one does that but also really blurs your skin. It definitely is a lot more blurring if you use a powder puff, but I've not done that today. But can you see the difference? It looks so good. And then the third powder is actually a powder foundation. No one ever uses powder foundations and I think they're all sleeping on it. It's the Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder foundation. I use it with the powder foundation brush. You literally just swirl it in and then do this on your face. Sometimes I use this instead of my foundation, or if I don't put like loads of products on, like cream blushes and bronzers underneath it, sometimes I use it to set my face. Or if I have a bit of a spot like here, you can kind of still see it. I either take like my finger or a small brush and just press it on, and can you see it just mattifies that so much more and like builds up more coverage. This always wears really nicely, never makes my skin look dry. It almost kind of makes it look glowy weirdly, which you wouldn't think it would do. I never really fill in my brows. The only brow pencil that I've been using this year is the Rare Beauty one. Some pencils I feel like I have to push really hard to get anything to come off, but this one is just like so creamy and it blends so nicely. I don't really have to push on my face to get any product to come off. It's just a really perfect brow pencil and there's nothing I would change about it. These have been my top 3 brow gels this year. The Kosas one, Rare Beauty and NYX Brow Glue. These two are kind of similar in the way that they're kind of flexible and aren't kind of hard and crunchy. This one is a little bit hard and crunchy, but I like that about it. Ooh. I dropped the Rare Beauty one on the floor and it's literally disappeared into the middle of nowhere, so I'll find that later. This one's good, but you can really move your brows. The Rare Beauty one has a little bit more hold and this one has the strongest hold. Sometimes I feel like it makes my eyebrows look a little bit shiny, which I don't love, but it definitely keeps my brows in place for the longest. I'm going to use the NYX one today. I also really like how tiny the spoolie is on it. They also do a tinted version of this one, which I also use and I do really like it. My top 3 eyeshadow products are the Colourpop eyeshadow sticks, Colourpop Fade Into Hue palette, which is crazy because I've hit pan in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colours. It just shows how much I love this. I think this is a perfect rainbow palette and it's got a good mix of shimmers and mattes. If I'm not wearing a lot of makeup or I don't feel like wearing a lot of eyeshadow, I will put one of these Colourpop shadow sticks on. This is the shade Honey Baby and I just think it's a really pretty shade and they all just blend like that. I literally just smudge them on and then rub them in my finger and they're so perfect. If I want to use like a matte, I use this one, which is the shade Bear With Me. And if I want something fun, I most of the time use this pink one, which is so pretty. It's the shade Juicy Gossip and it's pink, but it's got like almost a blue shimmer to it. These are so cool, you pull off the end and it's a sharpener. So you pop them on there very carefully. I done this the other day, so it's not actually going to sharpen that much. You just twist it around. You see how it's a sharp point, so then you can use them as like an eyeliner. I'm going to use this one today because I've never seen an eyeshadow palette like this, and I think it's the most innovative, coolest, exciting eyeshadow palette I've seen for a really long time. It's the new one from Danessa Marix, and it's the Lightwork Volume, is that 6 palette? Freedom palette. And it's got a magnetic lid, so you completely take it off, which makes it so much easier to use. They're all like duochromatic and super sparkly, which is my type of eyeshadow that I love, because you can literally just use your fingers and smudge them on and they kind of blend effortlessly. And then what I think is so cool about this is you can pop these pans out like this. Obviously you can stack them if you want to. Ooh. Like that. Then in the lid you pop this out, and it's a mirror which is also a lid to this, so you can take it on the go a lot easier, or you could just take like one of them on the go so it's not as chunky. But each of these pans pop out, so you can swap them around and put the only 6 colours in you want to use, which is so good because it makes like taking them out and about or on holiday so much easier. And I'll show you how easy it is. I'm going to take this shade. This is what I normally do with it if I don't know what to do but I want something fun. This shade here, all over my lid. And then I take this darker shade, this one, kind of just like here, blend that out and up a little bit. And then I'm going to take this shade here, which is kind of just like clear and pink. Just tap that right there. And I'm literally done. You know what, I'm going to spice it up and use a bit of this blue Colourpop shadow stick. And use it as just like a little bit of like an eyeliner. My top 3 mascaras are the Ilia Phyllis Volumizing Mascara, the Sky High in Burgundy, and the Lancome Idol Mascara. This Ilia one literally makes your eyelashes look insanely long. I'll insert a picture. I don't think a mascara has ever made my eyelashes look as good, full or long as this one. My only problem with it is it's really not waterproof at all. This is the mascara that I wore to the Eras tour and had mascara all over my face. Otherwise, it's such a good mascara, and I feel like sometimes you just need to hope you don't cry that day. The Sky High Burgundy is nice if you're not wearing too much makeup or want a bit more of a softer look, because it's not as black, it doesn't look as intense, but also because it's sky high, it still makes your eyelashes look really long and thick and full. This one's so good, it makes your eyelashes look really long and full, and it's a tubing one, so it kind of comes off in like little chunks and worms when you wash your face. I'm going to use this one today because this is my favourite right now. I have used this one in the past few videos and it's just so good. Like, can you see the difference? It looks so good. Powder blush. This one's probably my most used. I really love this one. It's from Barrier. I think it's like £5. It's a really good price. And it's like the most perfect baby Barbie pink ever. And it's like the perfect amount of shimmer in it. Love this NARS one. This is NARS in the shade Thrill. Honestly, it's kind of a similar pink. I love like a baby pink blush. This one's like the perfect pink. This one's probably a bit more pigmented than this one, but this one's matte and this one's shimmery. This one I go back to every summer and I really love if I have a tan. It's the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Bronzer, so it's a blush and a bronzer. But it's kind of like a glowy blush and bronzer all in one, so you can kind of just put it everywhere and you look like tanned and a bit sunburned and a bit perfect, like you've been on holiday for years. I also have to mention these because I've been using these so much. These are the Hourglass face palettes, and you normally get like a finishing powder, a highlighter, blusher and bronzers in them, and they all have different shades in. You see, they're so pretty and they're just really perfect. I'm gonna use this one today, the Barrier one, because you just need to see, like, it's the most perfect blush ever. You don't need to wear a highlighter with it because I feel like powder highlights look a bit streaky and a bit like 2016-y. For bronzer, obviously I love the Hourglass bronzers that are in here. I generally prefer a bit of a matte bronzer, because some of them look too shimmery and I feel like it makes you look a little bit weird. If I'm tanned or have fake tan on, or in the summer, I love this Laura Mercier one. This is a baked one. It's a matte radiance one, so it's matte, but it kind of has a slight glow to it, which just makes it look a bit more like skin-like. But if I use this like right now and I don't have fake tan on, it does make me look slightly orange, so I normally opt for like more of a contour shade. This one I've been using for most of the year. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow palette. The only issue I have with this highlight makes me turn yellow, which is annoying, so I'd never use that. But this palette has broke. Can you see, like, it doesn't shut, and then like the thing that clicks it in there came off. It's my only critique with it, but the actual bronzer in it is really nice. And I've really been loving this one. This is like the perfect shade for me. This is the AMYMAS Mineral Baked Bronzer in Say My Name. I always put bronzer here and then I never blend it properly, so I end up looking really streaky, so I really need to try and blend more when I put it here. Finally, lips. These are my top 3 lip liners. The Half Magic, Rare Beauty and Colourpop. The Half Magic ones are cool because they're double-ended and they're normally like complementary colours. One's usually a bit lighter, one's usually a bit darker, or they're like both red but one's a warmer tone, one's a cooler tone red. These are really nice, they're really blendable and creamy. I find that these ones probably wear a little bit better. Sometimes these go a little bit patchy on me. These two are honestly very similar. Like, can you see they're pretty much like the same type of lip liner, and they're just so easy to use and really perfect. This one is the Colourpop Frosty the Snowman. I think it's in the shade Over the Hills, I'm not entirely sure, but sometimes I just do this and kind of like, my lips are really dry right now, so I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to just kind of screw a little bit on and just blend it. Then for lipstick, these are my top 3. Clinique, either black or pink honey, depending on my mood each day. These are just like, honestly, they just feel like a lip balm on. They have a slight bit of colour to it. This is the pink one, but on your lips they don't really look that pigmented. They just look almost like a tinted lip balm. This I always get compliments on. This is the Fenty Beauty Popsicle in Strawberry Sangria. I like this when I wear red lipstick, or sometimes I just put it on and then wipe it off straight away, so it's more of a tint and not so insanely red, because it does go literally this colour red and it will last all down your lips and stain, which I really like. And then Glossy Ultra Lip just feels like a tinted lip balm, but it has a bit more pigment than a tinted lip balm, and just really creamy and hydrating and nice. I think today, because I'm going kind of pink, I'm going to do my pink honey. Finally, lip gloss. These have been my go-tos. The Rare Beauty lip oil. I find that honestly the lip oil doesn't really last very long on my lips at all, but these really stain and they last all day and they look natural or not like too weird of a lip stain. These are honestly a very similar product. They're just like the glossy balms that everyone's been using this year. The Hourglass one's really nice because it's very glowy and like shiny, and it almost has like a nice refreshing minty cooling feel on your lip. These I've been using the most this year. These are the NYX Fat Oil Slick Clicks, which are the same kind of thing, but these are more of like a balmy lip gloss, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain. These are more like liquidy, these are more hard. I really love these, but I didn't use them over the summer because I used it once over the summer and I don't know whether I clicked too much out or what. It got hot in my bag and a huge chunk of it came out and it was red and it was quite messy. These ones I was using in like Florida summer heat and they didn't melt. Finally, setting spray. I only ever use setting spray if I know I'm going to be out for a really long time. I find that they don't really make that much of a difference. Some of them just make me look really shiny and then I have to powder over the top of them. I feel like they don't really do very much, but this one does actually make a difference. The Urban Decay All Nighter Spray, they do a few different ones and I use them all and I find that they all work really well. This is the Vitamin C one. They just make your face look very glowy, and I done a test at the start of the year and I had black eyeshadow all down my arm and I sprayed setting spray only on each one and I smudged them all. This one was honestly the only one that worked. So this one is clearly the best. Then I used the Tatcha Mist, which is actually a skincare mist, to like melt my makeup into my face and make my face look a bit glowy, but it doesn't set your makeup in place. Here's the finished look of all of my 2024 favourite products. I done one of these videos last year and I'm going to make it a tradition to do them each year. Let me know what products you really enjoyed this year, and also if you've tried any of these and you like them too. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm posting every day until Christmas. We've only got a couple more days left, so make sure you come back and watch them. I've got so many good videos planned for next year, and thank you so much for watching.